man. How about you?
Doing great.
All right, good, good, good. You're looking nice tonight. Let's see. So we move over. Do we have more? Or do we have just us 5 so far? There's Alan would be 6. Let's see if I can get more on the screen. Is there a way I can show everybody?
So we have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16.
That's awesome.
I think, I'm not sure if 1 is a member, so, but I think we do have quorum.
That's good. That's what we needed to know. Okay. This meeting is being recorded. Live transaction has been enabled. We've got all sorts of wonderful messages. We have our top 2 candidates who are presenting right there on the screen already, Evan and Sara. And Kashef and Jean have checked in. So we have Sabina, Dean, and Jeffrey in that order who will be following. Okay. Couple more minutes.
And Ron, I did post from our notification that went out, I just cut and pasted that into the chat. Sorry, I left off the J, join the Tri-Valley Democratic Club.
Okay.
And with the link on the bottom, and that goes to a Square site. You can purchase tickets there. Individuals, $20, family picnics, $30. I think
Good.
that gets you up to 4 people, right? In the past, it's always been up to 4, but I don't think we're not going to turn anybody away. And senior and student rate is $15.
Isn't that wonderful? Okay. Well, if we break kind of even, that'll be fine. Maybe we'll have Alan bring the checkbook to the barbecue, and at the end we can have everybody present his receipts to Alan. Does that sound like a plan, Alan? And
well,
then
I have a record of everybody who sent in money. Anybody who sends a check, I'll have a record of that, and I'll just have it printed out. Plus, I'll have an attachment for my phone to be able to take credit cards at the event.
Oh, that's wonderful. I was thinking of reimbursing the club members that bought the items. If you bring
I'll have the checkbook for that.
Yeah, so we could do that at the end of the meeting. That would be great.
And
Okay.
Alan, you'll have name tags, right, for everybody?
I do have them. I just have to remember. I will remember to take them.
Yeah, you'll probably set yourself up at a little table or something to check people in.
I got it.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I have the club's banner for the table.
Oh, that's
So I'm bringing the table for the check-in as well as the tablecloth with our logo on it.
And Alice, we bought some cardboard today to make signs, with arrows on it and stuff like that.
all right. Do we have any banners or bunting or anything the wife is saying she can help decorate?
Yeah, I have plenty of crepe paper and stuff like that if she wants.
Bring some of that stuff. I can have her talk with you, and either email or conversation, we can coordinate that. Okay, there's the sign of the flag. It looks like it's 7 o'clock and time to officially start the meeting. So welcome everyone to another fine meeting of the Tri-Valley Democratic Club. We have someone who's audible, maybe to mute their sound. Okay, there we go. Oh, still there. Can the members put themselves on mute? Okay. We have someone overloading the sound here. Could you please mute? There we go. Okay, very good. Let's do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Very good. Okay. All right, let me make sure that my head is seen appropriately. Okay, well, we have a wonderful program scheduled for tonight. We have our candidates up for endorsement. As I was saying earlier, we have had a flood of requests for people to present to us for a 10-minute time period and to seek our endorsement. At the end of all 7 candidates, we will have a ballot that will be online, printed nicely and all set up by Jackie, and you can fill it out and then just send it in. And you can vote from the end of the last presentation when the ballot will be sent out, roughly around 8:15-ish. And then you will have till the end of the meeting, roughly 9 o'clock, to be able to send your vote in. We will tally them and get the information out as soon as we possibly can, either by email or if we should have it within a few minutes after the meeting is adjourned, then we can actually state it audibly at the meeting. Okay, well, there's just a little bit of guidelines that I'd like to reinforce for the candidates. One, each of you has 10 minutes. You can allocate that 10 minutes in any way that you like. You can have 10 minutes to speak, or if you want, at the end of your speech, if you have some time left, we can open that up to questions from the members. If we have questions, we'd like to keep the answers down to about 1 minute each. Okay, so let's see how this will run. We'll start with the order that we have presented, which is Evan, Sara, Kashef, Jean, Sabina, Dean, and Jeffrey. In that order, each will get 10 minutes. At the end of 9 minutes, I'll have a timer make a little beeping sound. And you will then try to wrap it up. And at the end of 10 minutes, there'll be another beep, at which point your allocated time is over. Okay. Any questions concerning the presentations and the time periods, etc.? Okay, good. Well, let's start with our first honored guest, who is Evan Branning, a past president of the TVDC, and he's seeking a seat on the Livermore City Council, District 1. Evan, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Ron. And thank you everyone for coming out today. So yeah, my name is Evan Branning and I'm running for the District 1 City Council seat in Livermore. And so I'm gonna jump ahead a little bit from my usual speech. Since you all know me already, I don't think I need to do the introduction part. And so I just want to talk a little bit about why I'm running. And then if you have any questions, I'll turn it over to the club. So for me, really, this was, as many candidates may tell you, it was a difficult choice, but I did feel it was the right choice in the right time. It is, I recognize it as a lot of work to be on city council. I recognize it as a challenging position, but I really have been out there and trying to do my best to really help Livermore. And seeing the opportunities that exist in our city and the challenges that we face, I think that I'm the right person to fill the role in city council for the next 4 years. Really help Livermore continue to grow and be the beautiful, amazing city that it is. So my platform really is, I'm focusing on 3 main items. There are many other things that are of high importance in Livermore, but really for me, the 3 that have bubbled to the top when I speak to my neighbors, those in my community, particularly those in District 1, are working to help reduce the unsheltered population, working to help make sure there is affordable housing at all levels, and working to make sure we have safe, beautiful streets and neighborhoods. And so those 3 items really have been the primary concerns. There are many others, of course. And as someone who has worked on the Planning Commission, I have been on the Human Services Commission. I've worked in the Alameda County Public Health Commission. I've spent most of my life really working with the issues of unsheltered populations, with the issues of housing, with the issues of safety. And it is one of the areas I'm super passionate about. If we had an hour and a half to talk, I would give you all of the details and how I feel we can approach this. But it comes down to, there's a kind of cosmic shift happening in California right now that is absolutely needed 20 years ago, where cities are working much more in concert with counties and the state all together to really address these regional problems. It's no longer just cities going in alone and the county going in separate. This collaborative effort is opening up a lot of doors where I think that in my time on city council, we really can see things like no net new homeless in Livermore. We can see affordable housing being built where people, kids and families can stay in Livermore without having to move far away to be able to afford a spot. We can start improving our streets to really have these safe, beautiful streets. And so I'm here before you asking for your support, for your help, not just to endorse me, although I do hope I will earn your endorsement, but also to ask you to help my campaign, help the campaigns of the other candidates you endorse, and continue to make this a great, great club that absolutely can help elect really strong candidates, not just to the state, but to the city level, and get our candidates elected. So please, I will put my link to my website in at the end of my time. Please, go to my website, volunteer, donate if you're in Livermore. If you're in one of the other cities for one of the other candidates, please help them as well. They all need it. These are all small campaigns that are really funded by the grassroots. And so you guys can make a huge difference. So with that, I probably have time for one question. So does anyone want to ask a question? Otherwise, I'll speed along to make sure we end on time. I think I saw Van.
We have 5 minutes left, but I do have
Oh.
one question. What do you see is your biggest challenge in this race?
My biggest challenge in this race is that my opponent is incredibly well funded. So I have the experience. I believe that I've gone and shown my commitment to the city. I have a great campaign team, but unfortunately, I'm up against someone who has a lot of money backing. So,
I have a
Dan?
question.
Oh.
Yeah, Evan, mental health is in the news with the Kaiser hospitals, mental health staff going on strike. And I'm wondering what the city council can do to facilitate mental health services within its purview.
So mental health services are always a challenge just because of funding. So first of all, I stand in solidarity with our brothers and sisters who are striking. So I want to make sure that that is clear. People never want to go on strike. I'm part of a union. I've worked with many unions. Unions do not want to strike. It's only when things have gotten to a point where they no longer when they get to a breaking point. So I do stand in solidarity with our brothers and sisters. As far as what Livermore can do, we actually have some really good programs in Livermore already, working with people for mental health programs, and there is work to expand them currently. Particularly though, we're finding the same thing statewide, which is one of the premier things we can do to help someone in a mental health crisis is try to help make sure that they can stay in their housing if they're already housed, or find housing for them. It's really hard for people to fix their mental health issues if they're also struggling with housing issues. And so one of the county initiatives is actually, we're looking at increasing the number of temporary shelters throughout the county. So we can do somewhat of an emergency measure. And then the goal would be to convert those temporary housing units into permanent housing over time, and help have the services that'll really help people transition from homelessness into permanent housing, including wraparound services and the type of mental health services that are sorely needed. And then Ellis?
Thank you. Thank you for running, Evan. Can you tell us what it is in your background that caused you to want to go into public service? You talked about being on a number of commissions and all of that. We appreciate that, but what is it that, you know, most people don't do that? What is it that's different about your background? Was there some seminal event or something like that, or somebody who influenced you to do this? Did I
Thank
lose
you.
sound?
No, I got you.
Okay.
So, yeah, thank you for that question. Like I said, since you guys know me, I kind of flipped over my background. But for those of you who don't know, I was actually born into poverty. I was born on Medi-Cal. My father used to actually fish so that we could have protein with our meals. So down in San Pedro, it's really a working class town. And I think one of the biggest things that really inspired me to get more involved is, as a teacher, I'm seeing a real change from when I was growing up to now. And when I was growing up, my parents knew with hard work, dedication, and education, they could leave poverty. And I'm now seeing with my students today that they're looking at a world where they don't feel like they can actually pull themselves out of poverty or get into the middle class. They don't see a route to stable housing or to be able to stay in California. And so this has been a problem for a long time. It's something that I'm seeing getting worse, not better. And for me, more than anything, it's really as a service to my students and to the future generation, not just them specifically, but everyone leaving high school, everyone in their 20s right now, and trying to make sure that we have a world where people can be in the service industry and still live close to home, where people can, you know, really do the jobs that I think are some of the hardest jobs on earth and be rewarded for doing them. And so my background with my students, my background in the service industry really is what inspires me to serve other people. I spent my life in service to other people in one form or another, whether it was in the restaurant jobs I was working or as a teacher. And so this is just for me a logical extension of continuing that service. And I think I heard my bell. So I'm going to say thank you to everyone.
Left.
Okay. You know, the
And
rest of the world know you as well as we do.
Yeah.
And when you're talking to them, mention this stuff. Thank you.
Thank you. In closing, I just want to say thank you all for your support. Hopefully, thank you all for your endorsement. I hope I have earned it. I'm going to put my website in the chat. Please, if you can, volunteer. I need all the help I can get. I appreciate all of you. Thank you. I'll turn it back to Ron.
Very well done. And 3 seconds left. What good timing. Okay, just a brief reminder. We are going to have one ballot at the end of all 7 presentations. And on that ballot, there'll be 7 individual choices that you can make. For each of the candidates, you can endorse them. So we will not have a vote after each individual one. You may want to write down something that was striking by a candidate. Maybe you just want to write down whether you want to endorse or not endorse. And just a quick reminder, endorsement means 60% of the verified club members voting in favor of the endorsement for that individual candidate. We have 5 individual candidates running for 5 separate seats. So those are basically a yes or a no provision. And then we have Dean and Jeffrey running for the same seat. So you will have to choose between the 2 of those, Dean Wallace and Jeffrey Nibert. So we can only endorse 1 for each open seat. 1 open seat for the Pleasanton City Council District 1. All right, now we are honored to have a second wonderful member of our Tri-Valley Democratic Club and also an executive board board member. Sara Lashanlo will be now presenting. She's our digital communications chief.
Yeah, well, thank you so much, Ron, and thank you all for having me and being here. And Evan, really awesome to hear all the updates about your campaign as well. So it's really awesome and strange to be presenting to you all on this side as a candidate now. And I'm honored to have relationships with a lot of the people in this room, but I do want to introduce myself as a person before I introduce myself as a candidate, just so that you can get a little bit of context as to who is Sara. So I am Sara. I live in San Ramon, and I went to Cal High. I graduated in 2013, proceeded to attend Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, earned my degree in mechanical engineering, and now I'm back here in San Ramon. I work for a medical device startup company by day, and by night, I really, really love getting involved with local affairs. As Ron mentioned, I am the digital communications chair here with the Tri-Valley Democrats. I'm also a board member of the San Ramon Valley Democrats. I'm a member of Citizens Climate Lobby, other climate and issues-based initiatives, and I also am involved in some statewide organizations as well. So I also have the honor of serving on San Ramon's Innovation and Technology Advisory Committee. So you're probably noticing a trend here. Sara serves on the Innovation and Technology Advisory Committee. She's also the Digital Communications Chair at Tri-Valley Democrats. And that is a core value of my campaign, but we will get there. I am now running for City Council. It is a district-based election. So I'm seeking election for District 2. And what's interesting about District 2 is that the seat was vacated last year, January of 2021. Myself and approximately 15 other people actually applied to this vacancy, and I was one of the 5 finalists for this seat. So I've been consistently interested in serving my community as a city council member for several years now, and to be able to run is a huge honor and a great opportunity. So without further ado, let me tell you a little bit about the values of my campaign. Let me give you a high level. So climate action, community safety, conscious growth and city budget, local democracy, and technology and innovation, unsurprisingly. Now I'll get into the nitty gritty a little bit. So climate action is not the only priority of mine, but it is one of the top priorities of mine. It's also a top priority for so many other people in this area and frankly in the world. And unfortunately, I'm not seeing it addressed in the manner that it should be by municipalities, because we have so much power to set the standard for effective local climate action. And I think that we are very uniquely equipped in San Ramon to do that if a council member chooses to push it forward. And I want to be that council member. And next is community safety. So it goes without saying that San Ramon and so many other Tri-Valley communities consistently rank as some of the top communities in terms of safety. And there's, we have to do work in order to keep us that way. So community safety looks like supporting the agencies that keep us safe, but it also looks like making sure that we have no preventable biker vehicle fatalities. It makes sure that pedestrians of all kinds, whether you're pushing a wheelchair or a walker or a stroller, you have access to a good sidewalk or pedestrian network. It means making sure that everyone in San Ramon, no matter how you're transporting, no matter your abilities, your age, your race, no matter what it is, you are safe, comfortable, and happy in San Ramon. Next is conscious growth and city budget. So there's a lot of development happening in San Ramon, and that makes me so excited. All these new lower footprint, higher density units and facilities in San Ramon are giving people like me, young professionals who want to come back to San Ramon and place their, plant their roots in San Ramon, an opportunity to do that. We have a several million unit housing shortage in the state, and we, the cities, can actually change that. So that will be a huge priority of mine. And also just ensuring that we have a robust city budget, and we're working hard to balance our budget and encouraging the residents of San Ramon to shop local and support the communities that they live in. Local democracy. So there are so many opportunities for citizens and residents to get involved with local affairs in San Ramon, but I think we can do better in terms of the kind of accessibility of those opportunities. So, for example, there are fantastic city-sponsored classes that the city of San Ramon offers, but only provide about 20 seats per year. So we can definitely increase the accessibility and turnaround of these fantastic, amazing classes. So anything that supports the public's access and transparency and understanding of their local government is good for democracy. And that would be a huge priority of mine as a city council member. And last but not least, technology and innovation. So technology is upon us. We are talking right now on Zoom, and we have two options. We can embrace technology and have it work for us, or we could not do that and then just not have the ability to narrate what technology will do to our communities. So serving on the Innovation and Technology Advisory Committee, I see some reluctance and pushback by the community to implement technology into our local initiatives, and I understand that. But that's going to take a very actively involved city council to make sure that residents understand that the implementation of technology is only and only to ensure their safety and the good management of the city of San Ramon. For instance, we have good intelligent traffic systems. We're implementing citywide Wi-Fi. There are so many exciting ways to utilize technology in the city of San Ramon, and I want to embrace that. That'll be a priority of mine as a city council member. And I also want to meet residents where they're at. I was knocking on doors the other day and a resident said, I don't have social media. I don't check my email. How cool would it be if we had a radio station or a TV station so that we could know what's going on in the city? Not ever something that I would have thought about, but guess what? He brings up an amazingly valid point, and we can use technology to get us there. So that is the high level kind of rundown of my campaign, but I lastly want to communicate this urgency. This is a nonpartisan race. However, there are very, very important values on the ballot in November. And by voting and endorsing the way you're going to vote and endorse, you're communicating your values to the community. I've been talking to people, I've been knocking on doors for the last couple of weeks, and I've been hearing so much just people wanting to make sure that their elected representatives are values-based people. And I am proud to be an ethical, values-based person, and I will take that to the city council with me. And that's why I would be honored for your endorsement with the Tri-Valley Democrats. I know we're coming up on about 8 minutes, so if there's time for one question or two, I'd be happy to address it. But thank you guys so much. Van.
Yes, we have 2 minutes left.
Yeah, I'd like to know what you might be able to do as a council person to make San Ramon more inviting to younger people like yourself in not just professional capacity, but some of the service industries as well, and how you can assure them that they have a place in the city.
Thank you so much, Van, for bringing that up. So interestingly, the average age of San Ramon is actually roughly 38, but the population of young people is dwindling year after year. And that's because people don't feel like represented here in the city and they go get their needs met elsewhere. And as a member of that community, I can tell you that, first of all, representation on the city council and a listening ear is a huge leap forward from the relatively out of touch representation that I feel like a lot of us have now. But secondly, regarding like services, like you said, a robust like retail and entertainment and dining and leisure experience in San Ramon can help bring and keep a lot of young people in San Ramon and a lot of families. I have been, now that we have a city center, I finally have like a place to invite my friends, you know? So we go to the city center, we go to Fieldwork, we go to Slanted Door or De La Rosa, and their first impression of San Ramon is now like, wow, this is a really cool, futuristic, modern shopping center. And guess what? We even have a virtual reality experience there too. So more things for people to do. It's quite simple. We like things to do. We like to make memories and have experiences. So the more that the city council can support social community initiatives like that, the more welcoming of an environment San Ramon will be to young people. Thanks for the question.
20 seconds left.
All right. Well, in those 20 seconds, again, thank you so much for this opportunity. I would be honored for your endorsement, because an endorsement really is a partnership. You know, you can support me and I can support the democratic values on the city council. And thank you all so much for your time. I will put my information also in the chat. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. Well, nicely done. Good. And our third honored guest is Kashef Qaadri, also a TVDC member. He's running for the Dublin City Council, an at-large position. The city council members in Dublin, there's 4 of them and a mayor. The city council positions are 4-year terms and they rotate. So this year we have 2 openings for at-large city council people in the city of Dublin, and we happen to have both Kashef and Josey presenting for us today, so we can endorse them both should they earn our endorsement. And let's begin now with Kashef. 10 minutes.
Right. And Jean, just so you know, I tried presenting, but presenting is screen sharing is disabled by the host. So
Would you like me to allow that, sir?
It's your call.
No, I can do that. Hold on. Sorry. And I'm going to make you a co-host. And anybody else is speaking, please just call out and I'll make you a co-host. Go ahead, Kashef.
Kashef, could you speak a little louder? You're coming on very low.
Sure, I will come closer to the mic, and I hope you can all see my screen, which is loading now. So my name is Kashef. Excellent. So my name is Kashef Qaadri. I was born in Washington, D.C. I've been in the Bay Area since 2005. I live here in Dublin with my wife of now 19 years and 10-year-old son now. Both of my parents were born in India and moved here in 60s and 70s. And you know, they were professionals by day. My father was an electrical engineer, worked for the U.S. Army. My mother worked in admin at a public school, and that was sort of their 9 to 5. And then in the evenings, they really instilled a lot of desire for us, you know, kids to get involved in the community. They did it themselves, whether it was through the Boy Scouts, cleaning up a park, or picking up trash, or helping at a senior center, whatever it was. That was a really important part of their lives, and they instilled that in us. And so, you know, carrying on that tradition and those values of volunteerism, I currently serve in a number of different capacities. I am a planning commissioner alternate for the Dublin Planning Commission. I serve as a commissioner for the Alameda County Public Health Commission. I'm on the Dublin Unified School District Citizen Bond Oversight Committee, and then also serve as the president of the Amador Elementary School Site Council. I'm also members of the Economic Development Committee here in Dublin, and a mentor for the Biomed Academy at Dublin High. During the day, so I'm a scientist by background. I have degrees in microbiology and healthcare management. And I've helped a lot of companies, both small startups and large companies, kind of move from small scale and single product to multi-product and global scale. So outside of those few boards and committees that I'm on, I spend a lot of time doing community service, and this has been going on for a number of years. They kind of fall into 3 or 4 different categories based on my desire to give back to the community, right? So one is leadership, and I do that through the Planning Commission, et cetera. The second is STEM, and really focusing on the youth in mentoring them, trying to create access and opportunities for them. And the third is Also related to that, which is around just general communication, or excuse me, general communication and involvement. And I hope as part of my campaign, I get more folks involved and interested in local politics. A little bit more of my professional background, which I'm going to skip over. Just point out that I've managed large budgets, the P&L responsibilities. I've done a lot around business development and partnerships, and then also around bringing new technologies and solutions to companies, and hope to offer the same to the city of Dublin. So now for the fun stuff. So my vision. So my 3 key priorities. The first is around prioritizing affordable housing in improving our infrastructure. As a planning commissioner, on every new project, I've been really pushing hard for new and inclusive housing, and will absolutely continue to do so. So that's priority number 1. The second is around partnering with small businesses in particular to help support them. You know, a lot of us have been affected by COVID in various ways. I've got a lot of friends that friends and family members that own businesses, small businesses within Dublin and outside of Dublin, who desperately need support. And it's about connecting them with grants, connecting them with information, connecting them with other resources that can help support and hopefully get their businesses to thrive yet again. And then the third area, you know, being the scientist that I am, it's around protecting the environment by focusing on redevelopment and smart infill development. So creating centers or hubs of the community, trying to push towards mixed use developments. And then the other side of that is really pushing hard for up-to-date and accurate environmental impact reports. You know, as a planning commissioner, again, I've pressed for updated assessments so we can understand and mitigate environmental damage. So there are a couple of different ways you can help. You know, fundamentally getting an endorsement from the Tri-Valley Dems would mean a lot to me. As some of the other prior speakers have mentioned, you know, canvassing, volunteering your time, retweeting, things like that are really important. Financial support is always important, along with phone and text banking. I hope the message that I've gotten across is that my combination of both community service and my professional experience in managing budgets, partnerships that have generated new growth for businesses, and implementing new and innovative technologies make me uniquely qualified to address the challenges of Dublin. You know, as you all know, you know, there are a lot of really important decisions being made at the city level, which impact us all, right? And I'd love to represent all the Dubliners on the call. I'd love to represent everyone on this call in general and stay connected. I will put my contact information at the bottom. I would love to hear from you and your concerns. And finally, I just wanted to point out that I'm also on the social media team here with the Tri-Valley Dems. And with that, I would be happy to take any questions in the remaining time. Yes, please.
Yeah, so I'm curious about what your perspective is on bringing larger high-tech companies into Dublin and creating not just additional housing, but some additional jobs to serve Dublin.
Yeah, no, great question. I think there is an imbalance of a few different things within the city of Dublin, right? There is a huge lack of affordable housing. That one is obvious. You know, you look at the RENA numbers and they tell a very grim picture of our ability to have inclusive housing. I think on the economic sustainability side of things, you know, looking at things like our projected budget deficit, it's absolutely important that we have a mix of large companies, whether they're tech or biotech or what have you. That's really important. In the same regard, small businesses are really important, just being a very integral part of our fabric and community. So I think it's a balance. We need to do both. You know, revenue from tax is really important, and that will definitely help offset some of the budget deficits that are projected.
2.5 minutes left.
Yes, I think Michelle has a question.
Guys,
Welcome back from Portland.
actually, yeah, barely. Kashef, I just want to ask you, there's obviously some very vocal folks in Dublin who are pretty anti-growth, pretty anti new housing. And I just want to know how you sort of reconcile that with wanting to bring in affordable housing projects, and, you know, how you're going to deal with a pretty vocal group of folks who would like, you know, it all to be stopped at this point.
Excellent question. I think fundamentally there's been a lot of pushback in Dublin around new projects. I think some of that could be managed just through more transparent communication, just letting folks know that these projects may have been approved 20 years ago, right? And sure, things could happen over those 20 years, but I think that's important. I'm definitely not a no growth person. I think we need to be deliberate and pragmatic about how we add what we add and where we add it, right? So trying to go for transit-oriented districts to cut down miles driven, things like that, right? Is that my timer for 1 minute, or is that
1 minute left? Yes,
okay,
correct.
excellent. I'll be quick. So yeah, I think we definitely need to add more affordable housing. We're reaching build out if we haven't actually reached build out. And so it's the remaining spots, right? Let's create a downtown Dublin. Let's try to be smart and you know, use the space that we do have remaining in the best possible way to meet a lot of different needs of our community. All right, well, I'll close there. Thank you all for your time and consideration in endorsing me. Thank you so much.
Wonderful presentation. Very good. And that's again for Dublin City Council at Large, Kashef. And now we have another candidate for that same position. There's actually two of them, the Dublin City Council at Large, and we are honored to have the current Vice Mayor of Dublin, Jean Josey. Jean, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Good evening. Thank you for having me. As Ron mentioned, I am currently on the council and serving as your vice mayor this year. And I want to thank you very much for Tri-Valley Dems endorsing me in 2018 when I first ran for my first term. I'm a proud member of this club. And even though I don't quite make it all the time, I'm proud to be associated with this club, to be a member of this club. I'm proud of our work that we've done on the council in the last 4 years, and I intend to build on those successes in the next 4. I've always prioritized quality of life issues for our residents. And while we have accomplished a lot, and I could certainly talk for a lot longer than 10 minutes about all those things, what I'd like to do tonight is just hit a few of those highlights from my first term, talk a little bit about my priorities for my second term, and hopefully leave a little bit of time for questions, and then reserve the last 30 seconds just to wrap it all up if I could. One of the things that I'm the most proud of is that we've been able to move the needle on affordable housing in Dublin in the last 4 years. We've approved 2 fully affordable projects, the 304 unit bridge project that'll go in at the West Dublin BART station, and also the Regional Street Senior project. And these projects are going to make a big difference in the lives of people who cannot now afford to live in Dublin. In addition, we've converted slightly over 1,000 units of existing apartments to reduced rent, middle income for moderately moderate income earners. These units are going to really help our workforce stay in their apartments and also save for down payments if they choose to buy houses here in Dublin. We passed the first in the Tri-Valley Safe Gun Storage Ordinance. And now our neighboring cities are doing the same. And while this is a tiny, tiny action in the face of the gun violence epidemic, if it saves even one life, it is worth it. We are leading the Tri-Valley in the climate action arena. In my first quarter on council, I was able to get my colleagues to pass an ordinance banning styrofoam in to-go containers, which hadn't yet been done in Dublin. And building on that with the excellent work from our staff, we were the first city in the Tri-Valley to pass our updated climate action plan. This is an area that's really important to me, and I serve on the National League of Cities Environmental Quality Policy Committee to help shape the lobbying platform for the National League of Cities. As many of you know, I was instrumental in getting our Dublin Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Task Force to look beyond policing, to look at everything we do in Dublin through a DEI lens. And I could talk about this particular topic for hours, but the upshot is that we've recently adopted dozens of recommendations from our task force to improve equity in Dublin. And as an educator, I think most of you know that I work at Dublin High School. Equity is at the core of everything that I do. 2 years ago, I applied for and was appointed to the National League of Cities Race, Equity, and Leadership Council. And on this council, I meet with approximately 40 council members and mayors from around the country to learn about and help craft best practices for diversity, equity, inclusion, and restoration at the municipal level. Each of us council members serves on regional committees, and I serve on both the Tri-Valley Transportation Council, which I currently chair, and on LAFTA. And through these two agencies, I've been able to really advocate for complete street solutions to the region's traffic, not just auto-centric solutions. And in fact, I was able to really move the needle on the Tri-Valley Transportation Council's upcoming strategic expenditure plan to make sure that we included money for buses on the Dublin Boulevard extension. Dublin, under the leadership of this council, became the first city in the Tri-Valley to sign a community workforce agreement with the Building and Construction Trades Council of Alameda County, and I'm very proud of that work. And of course, COVID has been the big disruption of my first term, and I'm really pleased that our council was able to really pull together and give away hundreds of thousands of dollars to help our local businesses survive and keep our residents in their home through rent relief programs. Now, much of this money was passed through from state and federal programs, but we also gave quite a lot of general fund money away. And I'm very proud of the way our council did that to ensure that our residents could stay in their homes and to make sure that our businesses could weather COVID as best as they possibly could. Going forward, my priorities are to continue to ensure that Dubliners can enjoy a high quality of life. And that means there are plenty of housing choices that are affordable to the wide range of community members that are here. I continue to push developers to bring us developments that include smaller for sale units that are truly affordable by design, although I hate that term, and also starter homes. We also want single story age qualified developments for our seniors who want to downsize from the 2- and 3-story homes that are the sort of the bulk of the one single family homes here in Dublin. Prioritizing quality of life also means continuing to build parks that have the amenities that the residents of Dublin want, and continuing to push forward on making our downtown preferred vision a reality. It means ensuring that we have the right mental health resources in addition to the other public safety services that keep our residents protected. It means growing our economic base. It means leading on climate action. And it also means that we keep an eye on our bottom line so that we can continue to maintain the beautiful parks, roads, and facilities that we have built here. I think I'll stop there and take questions. Remember, I'm on a clock, so questions are great, but hold statements for another time if you would. Sean, cool guy.
Well, thank you. If it pleases the president, I'm happy to ask a question. Jean, as I mentioned in the chat, you've been a strong partner and ally, particularly to the LGBTQ community. But I also want to mention that you've been such a supporter and ally to our small business community. And I was just wondering if you could talk a little bit about the good work we've done to protect our small business community through a very tough time.
Gosh, thanks for the question. Yeah, we've given away lots and lots and lots of money, but we've also updated our ordinances to make sure that we could support them with what they needed. We asked the businesses what they wanted, and what they wanted was outdoor dining. We've updated our ordinances for temporary use and for permanent outdoor dining spaces. We have given them what they needed in order to do that. At the very early stages of the pandemic, we gave all of our barriers to businesses that didn't have them so that they could safely have their outdoor space, be protected from parking. We've done all kinds of things in that space. We gave them flexible dollars that they could use, not just to pay employees, but to also buy what they needed, whether it was plexiglass or upgrade their electronic systems to take to-go orders, or whatever it was they needed. That's what we provided. And in the interest of time, I think I'll stop there. But we gave away just tons and tons of money. In addition, whatever they needed, that's what we gave them. So we weren't prescriptive. We asked them what they needed in order to survive. We gave away grants, we gave away loans, we gave away forgivable loans. I hope that answers your question and gives folks an idea of, I mean, you already know the answer, but gives everybody else on the call an idea of what we did.
Absolutely. Well, Dublin's incredibly lucky to have you. And, you're so knowledgeable, hardworking, informed, and thoughtful. And I'm very proud to endorse you.
Thank you, Sean. Are there questions?
3 minutes left.
I have plenty of time for questions from people who aren't already on council. Sabina.
I just want to make a comment that Jean's been such an amazing partner, not just in our own city, but across the Tri-Valley, in making sure we truly work together, things which were important to us, our progressive values, like we had the Pride flag, we had Muslim Appreciation Month, and I've just really appreciated Jean's partnership in guiding me in some of the things they were doing around gun control and the Pride flag raising and helping support Muslim Appreciation Day as well. So just, she wholeheartedly has my endorsement as well, and is not only a leader in her city, but a leader in the Tri-Valley, and an amazing person to lead the city forward in Dublin.
Thank you, Sabina. I appreciate that. Michelle.
Yeah, Jean, I'm just curious how you think that the pandemic sort of changed some of the trajectories in Dublin in terms of growth, traffic. 4 years ago when you first came in, we didn't have the groundbreaking on some of the schools and the things that we do now. How do you think this is a different place than it was when you ran 4 years ago?
Yeah, well, traffic for one, for sure. And I'm sure that it'll come back. But when I first ran, and you ask people important to them, and the first thing they say is traffic, it takes me forever to get across town. And, in the grand scheme of things, Dublin's traffic is not that bad. But if you've lived here for a long time and it used to take you 5 minutes to get across town, and now it takes you 15 minutes to get across town, you think traffic's really bad here. And with work from home, things have changed drastically. So what people want is, daycare solutions are different now, because if I'm working from home, at first I thought, well, I don't need my daycare. I'm going to have the kids stay home with me. And then you realize, hey, wait, that doesn't really work very well. And now they're looking for daycare solutions again. And the disruption of everybody being home creates its own ecosystem, really. It certainly changed our retail environment. Everybody working from home, looking around their house and saying, oh, wow, that's looking a little shabby. I need to order, and then they get online and they order things. And people did a lot of online shopping, which really hurt some of our retail businesses. Our restaurants have done a booming business because now everybody's doing takeout, but some of our retail businesses have really been hurting. So it's changed the retail landscape. But also people that are working from home and their companies that are down in San Jose are saying, we want you to come back. And people are like, yeah, I'm not really sure I want to get in that car and drive that commute anymore. And so it's helping to spur companies that want to open office park here. And that's helping to spur some of that economic development as well. So I think those are some of the ways that things have changed.
33 seconds.
All right, so I'm gonna thank you again for your time tonight and respectfully ask for your endorsement for my re-election to Dublin City Council. I think most of you know that I'm endorsed by a wide coalition of Democratic leaders and organizations, as well as regional leaders and Dublin citizens. So instead of telling you that whole list tonight, I'll just give a plug for my website, which is www.jeanjosey.com, and I'll drop that in the chat. And I would love to be able to count the Tri-Valley Democrats among my endorsers again this year. Thank you very much for your time and for your vote.
Wonderful presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And we move on. Sabina Zafar, a longtime TVDC member and supporter, currently a San Ramon City Council member, and she's stepping up and running for mayor of San Ramon. Sabina, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Ron. And it's such a pleasure being amongst all the friends here. I remember 2016 when I still had to earn your trust and your endorsement, and I didn't quite earn it. And I think the last 6 or so years that we've been together, it's been such an amazing journey. And I've always appreciated the support of the members as well as the club, and just been enjoyed being part of it, coming to the barbecues, and really enjoying building a community here in the Tri-Valley. So, we've done this together for, I got elected in 2018 to the San Ramon City Council as the first Asian. If you guys remember, I'm still the only woman on that council. I'm hoping this year could bring about some good changes on San Ramon City Council. So we'll see how things roll. You have always been, so many members actually of the Tri-Valley have been such a backbone and early supporters throughout my political journey as well. I see Dean Wallace here, and I'm so excited he's running as well. He was always there. There's, Sean has always been my friend. I don't want to name names because I know I will miss somebody and then it'll be bad. So just, want to say thank you to everybody. And again, today I'm seeking your endorsement and talking to you because I am running for the mayor of San Ramon. In the last 4 years that I've been in San Ramon, actually in the last 16 years that I've lived in San Ramon has changed significantly. All of you guys have seen the growth has doubled in size. When I moved to San Ramon, the population was 44,000. Now it's 85,000. And the population that has grown in San Ramon has been almost very much like my journey. I like to call it. When I moved to San Ramon, I didn't have a house. I didn't have a job. I had young kids that I was raising in the community. But I moved to San Ramon because of the beautiful community, the open spaces, the parks, and the wonderful schools, and our safe community. And over the years, as I grew up, so did the city. The city doubled in size. We grew up to be a very diverse, vibrant community. San Ramon is now 51% majority Asian. Like as I'm building my American dream, as I've been serving on council, as I've bought my home in San Ramon, as I've progressed in my career in the city and thrived, so has the city of San Ramon. And now my kids are old enough where they're building their own American dream. And I am very fortunate and grateful to San Ramon for allowing me the opportunity to serve. So what has been really, what have I done in the last 4 years serving on the city council, and how do I take it forward? Open and inclusive government. That has been the cornerstone of my public service in San Ramon. One of the biggest things and one of the most important things for me was that on the city council, we make it more transparent, we make it more approachable. Whether we did that through social media, we did that through more YouTube meetings, we did that through making sure we were, cast a wide outreach to our residents. My ability to bridge divides, engage residents in the decision-making has also been a fabric of how I've led the city in the past 4 years. And then change has happened in San Ramon, right? And instead of being wary of change, I've made sure that we celebrate our diversity and are embracing the exciting new changes that are happening in San Ramon. In the last 4 years, the city center opened up, and it significantly changed how people view San Ramon and how people see San Ramon and how our businesses have grown in San Ramon. But at the same time, as we are embracing this change, our residents also still care very much about the open space, our parks, our good schools, and the high quality of life. And that has been at the forefront of what I've done to make sure that San Ramon continues to enjoy that high quality of life for our residents while being inclusive. So what we've done in the last 4 years almost, we've approved what we're calling the San Ramon City Walk Plan, which is going to essentially create a San Ramon downtown with 4,500 homes in the downtown area of San Ramon. If you guys look at the plan, it's one of the most beautiful plans, and the future of San Ramon looks amazing. It's walkable, bikeable, built around lakes, but inclusive housing, which will allow some of our young people to be able to live in San Ramon as well as some of our seniors and empty nesters like myself that don't need the big 4-bedroom houses anymore to be able to move into a downtown housing. Things are changing in San Ramon, right? Chevron, which was one of the biggest employers, is significantly decreasing their footprint and moving a lot of people out to Texas as well. So who is thinking about that future and the next businesses which are going to bring opportunities and jobs to our San Ramon residents? San Ramon as a community is highly educated. A lot of people moved here because of AT&T and Chevron, but those were the bygone days. We now have to start thinking about what are the high-tech companies we can bring to San Ramon, biotech companies that we can bring to San Ramon. And as we all know, as you bring more technology companies, you also bring more services to the city. So retail has been a huge priority for me. When I joined council, the word retail was not in the council priorities. And the last 2 years, I really fought for us to get retail because everybody was talking that, we're not doing anything about retail. We have a revenue leakage in San Ramon. we don't have enough stores to serve our residents. We did all research pointed that way. Our consultants came in, but it wasn't part of the council priorities. And as we all know, if there's nothing on the council priority, staff is not going to execute that. So making retail a priority, and now I'm serving on our general plan a subcommittee as well, where the idea is that we balance retail with growth. We want to bring more housing. We will be bringing. Our RENA numbers are upwards of 5,100 in the next 8-year cycle. But as we bring more housing, we also want to make sure that we balance it with services to our residents, the grocery stores, the mom and pop shops, the small, the concept of which our consultants have recommended to us. And I really like the idea of these community villages, because San Ramon is large, it's not a small city. So what we call neighborhood villages, and how do we bring those to San Ramon? Again, my priorities, I have made sure that I engaged our youth in our local government. And I had a summer internship program where I had about 10 to 12 high schoolers that were part of that program. The goal is to build that bench, to train our youth, to show them the opportunity of getting involved at the local level. Celebrating diversity and community, I make sure that I show up at every event, every celebration that's happening in San Ramon. One of the things which I brought to, again, City Hall was we never lit up City Hall in San Ramon. Although we had the opportunity, we have a beautiful City Hall which you can light up to celebrate. We were not lighting it up to celebrate whether it was LGBTQ month, whether it was Chinese New Year, whether it was Christmas. And so, my subtle way, I said, we've got to light up City Hall. And that when people see City Hall lit up and they're celebrating something, it builds so much community and engagement and connection with the people that live in our community. And the pride flag flew because I really stood up for that. And I not only worked, like I said, with Jean and Sean to figure out how they did it in Dublin first, but also organized community to come and speak at council meetings. Because sometimes you can't get stuff done with other council members, but you have enough community members showing up and organize them. Everybody will listen and vote in their favor. So that's how we got the pride flag flown in San Ramon as well. Obviously coming from a technology background and residents that are highly educated, my first initiative was getting an innovation and technology advisory committee started in San Ramon. And because of that advisory committee, now that committee is working on a citywide Wi-Fi plan. With our 64 parks, if we can allow our residents to work from the parks while their kids play on, in the parks, if we can allow people to just enjoy the outdoors. And the pandemic truly taught us, right, that we can have that work-life balance, and just having a citywide Wi-Fi would be the best thing that I could do for San Ramon. And the infrastructure is just like laying an infrastructure for your roads. So the
30 seconds left.
Oh, wow. And I thought I couldn't talk for 10 minutes.
No, you're doing great.
Well, I just want to say thank you to everybody. With 30 seconds left, I just would, love your endorsement, and would love your support of the campaign in any way at sabinazafar.org. And if there's any questions, I can answer.
Okay, thank you for your time. That's wonderful. We do have an opportunity for you to ask Sabina questions, should we have the opportunity to have her attend our picnic. Once again, the picnic is Sunday, August 28th at Heritage Park in Dublin. And Sabina and all of our speakers are invited to come and speak to the picnic crowd. We will have speeches between 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock on Sunday afternoon. So Sabina and others, you can come if you'd like. Okay, once again, we've had 5 lovely presentations, and each of these 5 presenters are running for distinct seats, and we can endorse any or all of them. Now we're going to shift gears a little bit here, and we're going to have two candidates that are actually running against each other, so we can only endorse one of the two. And it'll be presented on your ballot, which will be coming after the 7th presentation. It will be presented on your ballot as an either or. The others are yes and no for endorsement. Again, each individual would need 60% of the voting verified members of the club that vote today that were signed on to the meeting in order to be endorsed. 60% is the standard. Okay, very good. Now we are lucky to have another past president of the TVDC and another long-term member of the TVDC. Boy, people do graduate and go to good things from this club. This is for the Pleasanton City Council, District 1, and past president Dean Wallace. Dean?
Thank you, Ron. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. Well, it's great to see so many familiar faces and new ones here. I want to start out by sharing a little bit about my history of involvement in Democratic Party politics here in the Tri-Valley and my history of local engagement. I've been involved with the Democratic Party locally since my senior year in high school, at Dublin High School, where I graduated in 2004. And I was fortunate enough in that senior year to have two people that many of you know as teachers. Angela Ramirez Holmes was my civics teacher, and Tim Sabrani, the former mayor of Dublin and city council member there, also I think past president as well of this club. Tim Sabrani was my leadership teacher. And so Angela and Tim both got me involved my senior year of high school, and I volunteered on my first campaigns with them, walked doors for Tom Torlakson in the area, and I also attended my first protest, which was during the recall election when Arnold Schwarzenegger was running. I was out there in front of the Pleasanton fairgrounds with a sign that said, "Arnold is not the answer." And so that's sort of where I got my start in Democratic Party politics here in the Tri-Valley. I was also fortunate enough to serve my senior year on the Dublin School Board as the student representative. I was on the board then when the current county supervisor, Dave Halbert, was the president of the school board. And so me and him sort of got to know each other then, and we've had our occasional spats when we disagree in the years since. After that, I was fortunate enough to go to college at Stanford, where I interned for Congressman Adam Schiff, who is now obviously one of the stars of our party and a national leader. I learned a lot from him in my role there when I worked for him in DC. And I'm fortunate enough to have an ongoing relationship with him where every now and again, he'll check in and ask how I'm doing. After college, I came back. I actually started working as a paralegal in San Francisco, did not enjoy that. And then I had an opportunity come my way where I could serve on the campaign of Congressman Jerry McNerney. So in 2010, I was on his field staff here in the Tri-Valley. And I then moved on to become the executive director of the Tri-Valley United Democratic Campaign in 2010. And for all intents and purposes, that served as his campaign headquarters here in the Tri-Valley. We had a place on Dublin Boulevard. And that was a really fun campaign because 2010, if you all remember, was the year of the Tea Party rise and their wave. And Congressman McNerney's seat was actually one of the few very close seats that Democrats were able to hold that year. And so it was fun to be a part of that. Following that experience, I had our local Dublin City Council member at the time reach out to me and tell me he had a crazy idea that he's going to run for Congress and go against a 40-year incumbent. And that was Eric Swalwell. I joined his campaign as his field director in his first race in 2012. We started out knocking on doors, me, him, and a couple of volunteers on weekends. And by the end of it, we had a volunteer crew of hundreds of volunteers, and we were knocking on doors throughout the Tri-Valley and his district. We knocked on over 100,000 doors, and many of the folks who were on this call helped with that race. And that was very exciting. It kind of proved to me in a very real world sense that democracy really matters and that you can make a difference in getting someone elected by knocking on doors and talking to voters. And field has been the thing that I focused on campaigns since. After we got him elected, I went and worked for him in DC for a year and a half. and then came back and helped run his reelection, and then went on to work in other local campaigns. I have served on the central committee for the local party. I've also been fortunate enough to have been elected a delegate to our state party and the Democratic National Convention as a delegate for former President Barack Obama and for Hillary Clinton in 2016. Following that, in 2017 and 2018, as many of you know, I was the president of this club, the Tri-Valley Democratic Club, and I really value that experience. I hadn't led a club like this before, and I learned some things through that process, and I really, really respect the work that you all do here at the local level. Also the work out of the IBEW hall. I know we haven't been able to be there for a while, but that place has been so critical, along with this club, in making sure that we get Democrats elected like Eric Swalwell and Democrats down the line. So thank you for all the work you guys all continue to do. After that, my current job, I work for Assemblymember Bucky Wicks. I am her district director. I have been her district director now since 2018. She has been a progressive champion for the East Bay in Sacramento, one of the most progressive voting records of any legislator, and leads on the issues like abortion access, affordable housing, gun violence prevention, privacy, and taking on big tech, and the expansion of the social safety net. I'm incredibly proud to work for her. And much of the work I do for her is based out of the district, serving our constituents. I run our constituent services program, which got very busy during COVID, as you all can imagine, with EDD. I'm sure you saw in the news. I was sort of on the front lines along with my staff, making sure that all the constituents who needed to get access to the benefits they deserved and earned got those benefits. It was a tough job. You know, I would wake up to messages that people had sent me through my personal Facebook, personal Instagram accounts, reaching out to tell me about how much they needed help. We had hundreds of people who needed it. So it was really difficult, but very rewarding. And that is the work that I enjoy the most, is serving constituents in that manner. I also work with our local governments and elected officials, organizations, and special districts who come to us for help with getting access to state funding through the budget or through grants. And I'm excited to bring those skills, working for constituents and working on behalf of organizations in her district, to work on behalf of the people of Pleasanton. I think my experience can bring a lot of value to Pleasanton. And that gets me into the last thing I want to talk about, which is why I'm running. I'm running for this seat because I'm incredibly excited about the opportunity this district offers. I would be thrilled to represent it on the city council. It is the most racially and ethnically diverse district in Pleasanton, the most socioeconomically diverse. We're home to many of our apartment complexes, one of which I'm coming to you from right now, which is the Stone Ridge apartment complexes. I'm not someone who comes from generational wealth. I was born in Dublin, Ireland. My father is from Ireland and my mother is from Mexico. We moved to the US when I was very young. I became a citizen in 2011. Eric Swalwell was actually the first vote I ever cast as a citizen myself. And my mother recently became a citizen too. She worked here at Sephora in the mall, at Stone Ridge Mall, for over a decade. And now she works at the one in Dublin. And I decided to live here in Pleasanton because I wanted to be close to her. I have 2 dogs and I enjoy walking this neighborhood and enjoying our local parks with them. And I'm running because there are a lot of renters in this district. 25% of the city of Pleasanton is made up of renters, and many of them live here in this district. And as someone who graduated from high school in the Tri-Valley and came back to live close to family, I understand the challenges that are facing our working families and young professionals. I started knocking on doors the past couple of weekends, and I was really energized by the conversations I had, because many people, share that perspective that it is very difficult for someone who graduates from high school to come back here and live close to family. You talk to people who either have kids who are my age who weren't able to live here. They're in Portland, Austin, or other places in the country. You have people who have kids in high school now or younger who are worried and thinking about how are those kids going to be able to afford to live here too. So I want to bring that perspective to the city council, and bring the perspective of someone who wants to see a future in Pleasanton where our high school graduates can also envision a future for themselves here. The last thing I want to touch on, I know I'm running out of time, is I'm really excited about the prospect of being a part of reimagining what we have here at Stone Ridge Mall. You know, I live really close to the mall. I want to make sure it's done right. But the city currently is going through a housing element plan where there's going to be a lot of housing built in this area.
One
We're also
minute left.
a framework for the Stone Ridge Mall. And I think it's an exciting opportunity to sort of talk about the next chapter of Pleasanton and create a place that is climate friendly, pedestrian, biker friendly, and is mixed use in an exciting place like City Center in San Ramon or downtown Livermore, where people want to hang out, live, play, and can walk to BART and easily access pedestrian trails and public transit. I'm honored to be endorsed by Congressman Eric Swalwell, as well as Assemblymember Bill Quirk, who represents a portion of Pleasanton. And I'd be honored to have the endorsement and support of this club. This club has a long history of endorsing former officers to become elected officials. And I'd be honored to have the endorsement of you all. Thank you.
Thank you. Well done, Dean. Very good. And we have our final presenter, last but certainly not least, a lovely progressive gentleman in the local area for a long time. Jeffrey Nibert is currently our Pleasanton Planning Commissioner, and he's now running for Pleasanton City Council District 1, the same seat as the past presenter, Dean Wallace. Jeffrey, the floor is yours.
Well, thank you very much, Ron. I really appreciate it. And thank you to everyone else who's joining on this call. First of all, everyone can call me Jeff. I've gone by Jeff all my life. And secondly, it doesn't matter to me how people pronounce my name. It really doesn't. I've gone my entire life with being mispronounced. Nibert, Nibert, Nobert, Nibert. But just so that if you ever say it, no one has to correct you to save you some potential embarrassment. It's Nibert, N-I-B-E-R-T, with a long I. So, like I said, just call me anything, just not late for dinner, as the joke goes. I've been a member and a resident of Pleasanton for 35 years. In 1987, my wife and I moved here for a lot of the same reasons that other people have moved to the Tri-Valley, for its beautiful and safe environment, and its excellent public schools, and a place to raise a future family. And so my wife and I have had 3 wonderful children who we've raised here in Pleasanton. They've all attended Pleasanton schools from kindergarten through grade 12 and all graduated. So for that and for them, I'm extremely proud of Pleasanton. I'm proud of what Pleasanton represents, its history. I actually volunteer at the museum on Main Street, so the history of Pleasanton is very dear to my heart. And I may be one of the only people that carries a picture of Alfred Pleasanton here in my house, the namesake of the city of Pleasanton, the general in the Civil War. So for you history buffs, my values are mainly those of a true volunteer: respect, the highest integrity, being a great teammate, and servant leadership. It's for those reasons that I've volunteered in various activities over my life, and which led me to become a planning commissioner as well. With my kids, with their youth activities, I volunteered in organizations such as Cub Scouts, the YMCA, church, the various sporting events and leagues that they were involved in over a continuous period of about 15 years that my children were spaced out, and loved every minute of it. So, my background, I'm retired now. I retired before the COVID pandemic hit, just in time to cancel 2 trips I had planned. But I'm a retired engineer and project manager. I finished out my career at PG&E, where I spent the last 15 years. Previously, I worked at Intel and at General Electric, so I'm no stranger to the corporate environment and the pressures that go with those positions. Proud union member. When I was at PG&E, I became a member of Engineers and Scientists of California. I've always been a huge supporter of labor unions and for collective bargaining. So in managing multi-million-dollar budgets, as I have, that prepares me, I think, extremely well for managing a budget size of the city of Pleasanton's. In 2020, 2021, the city had a general fund revenues of about $125 million and expenditures of about $112 million. So, that's a level of fiscal responsibility that is demanded from the members of the city council, and they have that kind of experience. Like I said, I'm a member of the Planning Commission of Pleasanton. Recently, we still are going through the regional housing needs allocation process, just like all the other cities around here. It's been a long and laborious and intense process. Everyone's facing the same challenges with the very high numbers that the state has allocated to our local cities. In Pleasanton, we have to plan for about 6,000 new units over the next 8-year period. And it's a challenge, but it's one that we also welcome, and that I welcome because we get to have the involvement of all the citizens of Pleasanton. It stirs people's involvement. Whatever we can do to get citizens involved in their government is a good thing. All of us in city government welcome their perspective, and it would be completely the opposite and bad if we had no input at all from citizens. So for those of you who may not have provided input, I know it's very few on this meeting, but do provide input to your city and local elected representatives because they do want it. As for me, like I said, Pleasanton has so much going for it. It's called the City of Planned Progress. It has lots of good partnerships regionally and within Pleasanton with the school district, and regionally also with other cities in the Tri-Valley and around the Bay Area. There are initiatives and plans that the city is involved in that I'm proud to also support. The Climate Action Plan, within Pleasanton, the Parks and Trails Master Plan that has so many good things planned for the city. And having just come back from Eugene, Oregon for a visit up there and seeing what kinds of bike trails, bike paths, and integrated bike lanes they have, I'm anxious to help implement that in Pleasanton. And various other plans as well. We have the East Pleasanton specific plan, which still has yet to be fully developed. And it's going to be a source of contention for the city when we do embark on that. But that is something coming up down the line. And I'm as a person who values win-win in transactions and scenarios. I go for the compromise, try to find out what each party truly values and work for a solution that gives both sides something that they want. So they both come away feeling that they've gotten something. I've already been involved in the planning for the new Stone Ridge Mall area and the reimagined Stone Ridge Mall that's coming up. The economic vitality of Pleasanton is also an area that really, really encourages me. On the Planning Commission, we approved the recent construction of the headquarters of 10X Genomics right here, right next to the Stone Ridge Mall. That's going in right now. That and the life sciences industry in general will be big providers and boons to the economy of Pleasanton, and I'm looking forward to that and working with the businesses of Pleasanton in the future. 94% of the citizens of Pleasanton say that they are happy. They are very happy or happy with the quality of life in Pleasanton. And my aim is to continue that level of happiness and that level of service that Pleasanton residents have come to expect. Excuse me while I take a sip. So creating new amenities as well as maintaining existing services is part of what I'm standing for as well. Public is a huge item. We have excellent public services, firefighters, police services here in Pleasanton, and I aim to keep them that way. We're proud to be implementing an augmented response units, ARU, that the police department into effect that will include mental health professionals to be called out to crisis situations.
Do we have a temporary freeze from,
Yeah, I had a frozen, I thought it was me. I wasn't sure.
I thought it was me.
I lost it once before, so I was a little worried there. Maybe we just lost Jeff.
okay, well, why don't we give him a minute or so to see if he can reconnect?
Let's see if we have anybody else that have, it looks like I see him there. Oh, he just dropped off. Maybe he's bouncing.
Okay,
Just want to make sure it wasn't me knocking people off.
don't think so. No, he had some glitches where he's slowed down and the speech slowed down or during his presentation. So we'll give him another couple of minutes actually to see if he can connect. He has approximately 90 seconds left on his 10 minutes.
I did go ahead and post the form in the chat, just in case we have any more people dropping off.
Okay,
Get it
that sounds
out.
good. Are you going to send the voting form to us by email?
I just put it in the chat.
In the chat.
So
Okay.
in the chat to everyone, you'll see a form at the bottom of the chat.
Okay,
And to answer Linda's question, no, we can endorse for other areas. It's common for us to endorse for areas outside where you live. However, in the case of Pleasanton, there's only one seat, so you can only make one choice there. The others, it's a yes, no vote. And when you have multiple people, Valerie, you can fill out the form twice, and you can even use the same email address in the form. Just make sure that the name is unique. So if you want, I think Jeff joined.
Looks like Jeff has come back to us.
Yep.
Yes, I have.
For whatever technical reason, we want to give you another 90 seconds that you have left on your time.
Oh, okay. Well, thank
Jeff,
you.
go for it.
I'm sorry about that. I just blanked out all of a sudden. Don't know what happened.
We don't know where it came from and nobody cares. Let's get you the next 90 seconds.
Okay, well, thank you for having me back. I was just saying that a vibrant and historic downtown is for retail and restaurants, and residents and visitors expect it that way, and we want to keep it that way. Development projects must pay their fair share of impacts to infrastructure and to help pay for schools. For that reason, to be totally free from bias and not even give the appearance of bias, I'm not taking contributions from developers. I will also just quickly run down my Democratic bona fides. I've been supporters of the Jerry McNerney and Eric Swalwell campaigns from their very first runs for Congress as well. Canvassed, did everything for them. I was twice a Barack Obama delegate in 2008 and 2012. I'm an elected member of the Alameda County Democratic Central Committee since 2012. And I'm proud and I'm honored to be endorsed by the Pleasanton Mayor, Carla Brown, by the Pleasanton City Council member, Julie Testa, Pleasanton City Council member, Valerie Arkin, and by the past president of the Tri-Valley Democratic Club, Ellis Goldberg. I am really honored for all those endorsements. I would be really grateful for yours. Thank you very much.
Wonderful presentation. Very good. Okay, thank you, Jeff. And here we go. Jackie, are we going to have our voting explained? You said that it's chat.
Yeah, let's, if you could go ahead and open up the form. I've sent it in the chat. And to answer a question out there, can you vote for yourself? If you are a club member and you're current in your dues, you may vote. So you can definitely vote for yourself if you're a club member voting tonight. If you open this document up, let's see, maybe if I can. just go ahead and share my screen real quick. I'll walk you through this. Super
Jackie,
easy.
can you please send it again? My chat restarted, so I don't have it.
Oh, sure, definitely. Let me just walk through this real quick and then I'll post it again. This is what the form looks like. You notice that at the top, because I'm logged in as TV Dims Media on my Google account, that's what's going to show. But here you're just going to pop in whatever email you want to validate. It does have to have a valid email in here. It can be your Google one or any other email. Your name, just put your name there. And here you'll see that for the choices that just have one choice, for instance, only one person is vying tonight for Livermore City Council District 1. If you just do a drop down, you're just going to say yes, no. If you choose to abstain, you do nothing. You don't vote at all in that case if you want to abstain. And then in the case where we have two people vying for the same seat down on the bottom, Dean and Jeff, you only can pick one of those. And then once you select, you're going to just hit submit, and I will see the results in almost instantaneously. So go ahead and vote now. We'll leave it open until 9 o'clock, and I'm going to go ahead and repost this for members again, in case you missed that in the chat. Does anybody have any questions? Okay. Let's see.
One question, how about two of us together, couples?
What you would do in that case is fill it out one time for the first person and then go back in and fill out a second form. You can use the same email address. It's not going to kick you out for that. Just make sure that the name is unique and they are club members. So if you are joining tonight and are not a member of the club, your vote will not count. So don't bother filling out the form. This is only for members in good standing who are members of the club.
Okay, I filled mine out in chat, Jackie, and it was quite clear and easy to do. All right.
And I'm going to go ahead and post it again there at the bottom of the chat. You'll see that. Anybody have any problem with the form, let me know and I will be happy to help you.
I also am on my email on another computer, and it sent a Google form from you. So it's also available on email in addition to chat.
Well, no, Ron, I actually sent that to you earlier in the day to show you what the form looked like. So members will not get it in an email. It's only available in chat
Okay.
to those attending. And please
Okay.
do not send it to other members. This is only available to those that attend the meeting tonight.
Okay, that clarifies that. Thank you.
I have a quick question.
Yes.
In order to abstain, you said to leave it blank, but all questions are required questions, so there's no option to leave anything blank?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Let me fix that for you right now. Stand by.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry. Thanks, Jean. Let me, it'll take me a second to hit all these boxes. Stand by. Okay, I'm gonna make it not required. Not required. Not required. Sorry.
Wow, this is
The
great.
first time I put so many on one ballot.
This is wonderful. Thank you, Jackie.
Okay, try it now, Jean.
All good, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, does anybody else have difficulty in terms of getting or filling out the form? Well, this is great. This is going quite smoothly. We've done this before with a similar form. And we have
One thing I want to make sure, I'm sorry, Ron, I didn't mean to cut you out. Somebody
No
was
problem.
asking me a question here in chat. For the Dublin seat, you can vote for both, okay? Because there are 2 open seats. So those Dublin seats, you can vote for both of those. So you can endorse both, one or none. So however you choose. And again, the question for those who have 3 voters in the household, yes, I can count all 3. So if you have a problem putting those in, you should be able to put in a vote with one person's name, then the next person's name, then the next person. If it doesn't let you, let me know.
Okay. Well, we
who are having multiple votes like we did, just hit a reload for the second voter. That is that little circle on the upper left-hand corner. And that'll give you a fresh ballot.
Okay, good. All right, well, let's move on. Is Kevin Farley from Eric Swalwell's PAC committee here at this time? Kevin, we have 10 minutes set aside for you if you're here. Okay, no Kevin at this point. Why don't we then bring Ellis in for a political director's report. Did you have anything to say for us, Ellis?
What a question, Ron. Yeah, the hottest race in East Bay, as far as I can tell, is the district attorney's race in Alameda County.
Okay.
Terry Wiley and Pamela Price. They were both at the Alameda County Central Committee picnic, as you were, and several other members of the club, Jackie and Richard, and I don't remember who else. And anyway, since that is a big race,
Ellis, can I stop you for a moment?
Let me,
Ellis,
special meeting.
Ellis, let me stop you for a moment. We're having some technical difficulties hearing Ellis.
But we have something during the day. But on September 12th, which is the second Monday.
Ellis, is it possible that you can reconnect, because it seems like your transmission is not only breaking up, but it's being slowed down?
You're having difficulties hearing me?
Yeah, we're having difficulties hearing you and Sharon. Your connection doesn't seem to be good. Are there any suggestions?
How about now? Is this any better?
No.
Ron, if you mute while he's speaking, it will help his bandwidth.
Okay. Here I go. I'm muting.
How about now? How about now?
I'm still having a lot of problem on this end. It's actually starting to pause the whole video. And the whole thing's starting to cut out for me. To where I thought I was going to lose the whole call.
I don't know what to do.
Ellis, it might help if you turn off your
Anybody at all?
camera.
Anything?
Turn off your camera. Let's see. Let me stop your video. Try it now, Willis. See if that's better.
Okay. Look, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yep, you're coming out good now.
I am coming out good. Maybe if I leave off the video.
Yeah, I
and-
already
this is
did. You're
perfect.
good.
Okay, I'm gonna leave off the video. So that, can you hear me, Ron? Nod? Okay, good. I'll start again. The hottest race in the East Bay is the district attorney's race in Alameda County, right in our laps. We didn't endorse anybody for DA when there were 4 candidates before the primary. But now there are 2 candidates, Terry Wiley and Pamela Price, 2 Democrats. And they were both at the Alameda County picnic a few weeks ago, as Ron was, and Jackie and Richard Lai, and probably some other, Valerie Arkin and Sephora. Anyway, I spoke to both of the candidates' campaign. In fact, as I spoke directly to Terry Wiley, and I said, we'd like to have a meeting where just the 2 DA candidates would be there. We'd have time for a considerable amount of questions, and it would probably draw some press coverage also, and some coverage by people in the Alameda County Central Committee and other people in Alameda County who would like an opportunity to drill down on the DA's race. So what I'm suggesting is a September 12th meeting, a special meeting, which only would have one purpose, and that was to endorse in the Alameda County DA's race. Anyway, that's my report. I'm not sure whether we should have the executive committee decide to do that, or we should vote on it at this meeting. That's up to Ron. That's my report.
Wonderful, thanks, and appreciate Jackie and Sarah contributing information as to how we can get better bandwidth for Ellis's audio. So that worked out very well. And Ellis, it is a wonderful suggestion for a separate endorsement meeting for September 12th. I'm 100% behind that. I would be happy to have either Richard Lee, if he's interested in moderating, or myself moderate that meeting. In addition, we will also have a regular meeting on September 19th, which is a week afterwards, in which we will have a full schedule of endorsements also, which means another 7 time slots. So I think that the executive board should make a decision after this meeting is over as to whether we all want to, on the executive board, make this meeting a reality. Okay, very good. Kevin, are you logged on? Kevin Farley, if you're not here, let's go ahead. Jackie, are you free enough from election questions to be able to present us some information about the Central Committee and the approval of the July minutes?
Okay, first off, on the approval of the minutes, I did send it out this time with the meeting invite. So that has been sent to all membership plus. And I'd like to make a motion to go ahead and approve those minutes with any corrections can be sent to me, and I will make any corrections if membership finds it. So just to speed this baby up. So
any seconds? Who's going to second the motion to approve?
I see a second from Alan.
Alan, second. Okay, Jackie, the first. Let's have a voice vote. All those in favor, yay.
And you guys are going to yay yourself, yay.
All those opposed with no. All of those abstaining. Abstain 1. Okay, the motion passes with 1 abstention.
Who was the abstention? I missed that.
I couldn't tell.
Okay, I'll watch the video.
Okay, Sounds good. All right, so the 5 minutes have
And regarding
been
the
approved.
Central Committee, Sean, are you still on? Mr. Fumagai?
Yeah.
I'd like you to go ahead and make your announcement. I know you stepped down as Rebecca Bauer-Cahan's member in the Central Committee, but I'll let you make that announcement and who replaced you and what you're doing still in the Central Committee.
Excuse me
If you
one
don't
second.
mind.
Yeah, no, I'm happy to. Yeah, so we decided to replace my or the Assembly Member Bauer Cahan's alternate on the Central Committee. Staff member of ours, Katie Keeshan, who's a resident of the Tri-Valley, but you know, I'm going to be quite busy over the coming 3 months, and also I no longer live in the Assembly Members District, so it was time for us to, you know, get the next person in line to fill that role. I'm still an associate member of this the Central Committee, and I'm still also very active with the California Democratic Party. I'm a state treasurer for the API caucus. I am lead co-chair for the standing committee for credentials. So, you know, I'm on the leadership team there, and also serving as a delegate for Rebecca on that committee. So we have and you know, of course, I'm honored and to have the support of Tri-Valley Democratic Club, and you know, ask for your continued support and helping us to get the resources and the folks on the ground to go on to victory in November. So thank you so much, and you know, please sign up to volunteer for our campaign. We're going to be running a very competitive field campaign, and would love to see Tri-Valley Dem members out with us knocking on doors.
And Sean, I'd like to offer you an opportunity to speak to the membership at our lovely picnic.
I will be there.
No charge. Come and have and share our lovely expanding menu, where we have tri-tip compliments of Jackie's hard work and Sharon. We are putting together an outstanding menu. It's going to be a real feast, and we'd love to have you. You can speak sometime between 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock. We'll have a speaker system and a microphone there, and we would certainly love to have you as one of our honored free guests.
I will love to be there and looking forward to it. Always a pleasure to be with the Tri-Valley Dems.
And you've always been a big supporter for us and a fine contributor, not only to the Tri-Valley, but to the community in general and to Alameda County. We are pleased to have you as a local son who represents us and does such good hard work. Very good. Okay, let's see now. Jackie, how are we doing on the voting? Any questions?
We have at this point 35 responses.
Good.
I do need to spot check it against the most recent membership list. I'm having some problems opening that file, so bear with me on that. And I just need to validate it. We're almost there, so go ahead and finish up, and I'll see if I can validate these members here real quick. Most of them I know, but there's a couple here I'm not familiar with.
Okay. Did we want to have you finish that and then maybe give us a little bit on the Central Committee?
I just had Sean give an update. We attended the picnic, obviously. You were there. It was a great time. And you know, Sean's news with AD 16, that was the biggest news that impacts us. The Unity Dinner, I will be sending out information on that. That's a big fundraiser with Alameda County. So more to come on that information. And that's it. I'll let
Well,
you
that
finish
sounds
up.
real good. You know, we have an extra few minutes, and one of our very fine committee chairs Van Rainey, has put out a document, a Google document that has gone to the membership on email. And if, Van, are you there? Can you unmute, Van? Would you like to spend 5 minutes talking about your lovely report? If you wanted to either read from it or summarize your report, we'll give you that opportunity to have the floor now. Are you unmuted, Van?
Oh, our membership went down 33 to 27.
Okay, maybe Van's not here, and that'll be fine. Okay, all right.
That's
So
so many are open. She said 35 people voted.
Yeah, but
yeah, that's a lot. Okay, well, let's talk a little bit more about the picnic. Let's see if we can get people who are interested in coming. And the price is very moderate, roughly seniors and students at $15, adults at $20, families for $30. We're going to have wonderful food, great conversation, some speeches and all of that. So on the announcement for tonight's meeting, you'll see a section there on the picnic. And if you go and about halfway down, there'll be a nice blue lettering, a sentence that says tickets can be purchased online here. So if you go and click on there, you can go ahead and use your credit card to make purchases for the picnic. And also there's to the left, it says that you can click and put your name on for a reservation. So let's go ahead and have a wonderful picnic. And let's see, what else do we have? Any additional announcements from the floor?
Ron, a word about the picnic. Classically, the picnic has been our best recruiting event aside from our seasonal party. It's an opportunity for you to invite, not just you, but all of us to invite neighbors, new people who moved onto the block maybe, people that you know who would normally not be involved with the Democratic Club. Come on down, meet us, have some food with us, meet some candidates, and get involved. So I would suggest that the people who are on this meeting clip that part of the email that was sent out by Jackie that has the invitation and send that on to those people that you want to invite.
Alan has also indicated that he will accept the money at the actual picnic itself. So if the members have some friends that are coming or that have invited neighbors, then the neighbors can pay for the food essentially at the site itself.
Yeah. If possible, can our club members RSVP pretty soon? So we have a, a count of how many people are coming?
Okay, good. Now this RSVP, that's at a separate thing than for the payment. Is that correct?
No, it's just all you have to, pay, and then Alan notifies us, that you're coming. So we have an
Okay.
idea how much food to buy.
Okay. So if you're coming, sign up soon.
Yes, thank you.
Could you detail a bit of the menu for us? Get us excited.
So far we have tri-tip and we have sodas. I'm looking into salads. And I think there's going to be watermelon.
Good.
And I don't know what else yet.
And baked beans.
Huh? And beans, right?
Beans and salads, and we're trying to find some vegan stuff. I've been testing. If anybody knows really good vegan sausage, let me know. I've been tasting them the past couple of days and they're bleh. So if anybody has good vegan ideas, send them to me.
Oh, and we have chips.
Okay.
And we'll try to do something
We
like you
have a
said, Ron, some
band.
kind of chicken thing or something, but we're trying to make protein, options available, salads. Lots of healthy stuff. How about that?
Yeah, and tri-tip is a wonderful thing. I mean, it's really high grade beef. And we actually will have 3 different options on the tri-tip. You can have it smoked, you can have it plain, or you can have it with this magic secret sauce that my wife's family is donating. So it's a spice rub that goes onto the tri-tip, which is actually wonderful and was very successful in 2 restaurants that her family run. One of them in Danville, the Elegant Bib, and another one, DiMaggio's in Martinez. So we have 3 types of tri-tip, and you can have the tri-tip just plain, or we can put it in a bun. And there'll also be turkey or chicken sausage, most likely a veggie patty or a veggie sausage. There's green salads. There's going to be potato salad and macaroni salad. There'll be cookies, maybe some other kinds of pastries, some fruit drinks, and some soft drinks and water. Yeah, this will be a feast. And it's a lovely park. If you wanted to see what the park looks like, you can go onto my individual YouTube channel under Ronald Lawrence. If you go to the youtube.com and type in RONALDLORENTZ, the first of the many videos that are on there is the about a 1.5-minute view of the park. Okay. How are we doing, Jackie?
We do have results. Do you want me to
Wonderful.
make the announcements here?
Oh, this is great. And we're not even at 9 o'clock. This is highly efficient, but it's typical Jackie. All right, let's hear.
Okay, for Evan Branning, 34 responses, and he received our endorsement.
Yay.
And Sara Lashanlo, 33 responses, and she also received our endorsement.
Yay, Sara.
Kashef for Dublin, 33 responses. He also received our endorsement.
Yay.
Josey for Dublin City Council with 33 responses, also received our endorsement.
Yay.
Sabina for Mayor of San Ramon, 33 responses, and she also received our endorsement.
Yay.
Here's the one place we're not going to have a yay, because we were split, and
Okay.
this happens when we have 2 fabulous people running against each other. Our membership was split for Pleasanton City Council District 1. Neither candidate reached the 60%. It was virtually almost split down the middle between membership.
Okay. Well, thank you
31
so
responses there, and Dean received 51.6, and Jeff received 48.4. So it was almost virtually split.
Well, we have a wealth of candidates, and we will have 7 more on September 19th with a similar format. And we will have 2 in a very strong presentation, as most likely, depending upon the vote for the board, we may have a September 12th additional 2 candidate presentation. I see Jeff here. I'm sorry, Jeff, we weren't able to garner support for you. And the same with Dean. I'm sorry we weren't able to garner support for you. However, we do want to offer you the opportunity to come to our picnic, complimentary. Come and have some food with us. Come and make a presentation. Okay, between
Sounds
1
good. Thank you.
and 2. Dean.
I'd love to be there. Yes, I'll plan on being there.
Good.
Love
Wonderful.
the good food part too.
The good food part. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this tri-tip stuff, huh? A little bit of
Oh gosh, I better not burn it.
Well,
Trouble if
yeah.
I burn it all
Boy,
up.
we won't let you come to the picnic should you burn some of the tri-tip in advance. All right. Okay. And Dean, you are
Ron?
certainly invited to come and speak on August 28th. We would love to have you. Yes.
Ron, I didn't mention something in the political director's report, but and maybe Jackie would comment on it also. But Jackie has been offered a position running the campaign office for the Tri-Valley UDC.
Wow.
What that means is that the candidates that have been endorsed by the Central Committee may campaign out of that office. But in addition to that, if there are candidates like our local candidates who have not been endorsed by the Central Committee, but their opposition hasn't been endorsed by the Central Committee, they can also use the campaign office for running their activities, that is, organizing meetings and so forth, and phone banking. And I'm sure we'll have reports on that a little bit later on. And when it comes to having that office open, at that point, we typically have made a contribution of a few $100s from our treasury to the Tri-Valley UDC. But that's coming up over the horizon. Typically, the office is open through the month of October until a couple of days after Election Day. So we have time to clear out the office also. And also we'll be looking for furniture.
And also volunteers to help out in the office.
Right. And congratulations to Jackie. Now, Ellis, I have a question. Should we vote tonight on whether we want to allocate $200 or $300 to the UDC as our usual contribution?
Maybe better wait till.
Ron,
August.
if I could request that we hold up on that, I plan to meet with Angela Ramirez Holmes, who is the current chair. I'm meeting with her tomorrow. And so I'll get more about the ropes and what the role would be and find out if for sure that's the way they want to handle it, or if they want to have an open election or whatever. So I will be meeting with her tomorrow to talk about what is needed and what that would entail, and make sure that we are being very democratic about this process as well.
Sounds wonderful. Okay, so
more to come on that. So I'd hold off on that for now.
Let's delay this vote until September 19th, our next meeting. Okay.
And I will mention to her that I talked to her student, Jeff, tonight.
Yes.
Now that I know that she was his teacher.
Isn't that fun?
That's a great story. Thank you.
Okay. Well, I think we're pretty much finished. We're wrapping business up, and it was a well done presentation by 7 fine candidates, and we look forward to our next meeting. Could we have, we are adjourning now, but we would like each of the executive board members to remain on the call, and we will make a vote upon the September 12th possible 2-person separate meeting for endorsement for District Attorney of Alameda County. Thank you all. Good night.